Hey guys, this is Vishwath, design captain on Team 1403. Today I'm going to be walking everyone through the Autodesk Inventor tutorial packet. So this is a great packet to introduce anyone to CAD, and this is the same packet that we use to introduce all of our rookie members on design. So first things first, we're going to open up our Autodesk Inventor application. And the first thing I'm going to be showing everyone is how to create their own part. So to do that, we're going to come over here and press the New tab. And then under Part, we're going to see standard.ipt. We're going to press that, and on the bottom right, press Create. Now we're going to get to a screen like this. Now to start our own sketch, we have to go to the top left where it says Start 2D Sketch and click this icon. For the purposes of our tutorial, we're going to start with the XY plane. So the first tool I'm going to be introducing is the line tool. All this does is it creates a line for you to use in any way, shape, or form. So to use this, you're going to click one point. And if you noticed, when I first clicked it, my cursor, whenever you hover over something, over the origin, it's going to be green. So we're going to go over the origin and left click. And this is going to be this first point of our line. And then if we left click again, it's going to create an endpoint. So let's say I want my line to be this long. This is going to create an endpoint. Now to stop this line, you see how it kind of continues, creates another line from that endpoint. We want to right click and click OK. And that stops that from happening, and that's our line. Now, what our packet wants to do is to create a figure shown in figure 2.1, which is a bubble lettered L. So what I'm going to try to do is just create that bubble letter L. So I'm going to left click here and then create another line based off that line. Just trace it out to create the letter L. There we go. Now, notice how these lines are changing. There's no dimensions on them. I don't know how long this is. I don't know how short this is. All this stuff can move. Now, if we want to create specific and very accurate measurements, what we could do is come to the top of our toolbar and press Dimension. Once we're here, we could click whatever line we want to change. Say I want to change this one, and I'm going to left click again, and I'm going to get this pop-up. It says Edit Dimension. And this lets me change how long I want this line to be. So let's say I want it 1 inch. That's what happens. It now creates this line to always be 1 inch. And no matter what you do, you can't change it unless you edit the dimension itself. So right now in our packet, each one of these lines have a corresponding letter, and each one of those letters have a corresponding length. So what I'm going to do is just dimension each of these lines and make sure that it lines up with what's in our packet. Okay, and there we go. Now this looks exactly like what's in our packet. Now what we're going to do is move on to the fillet or fillet tool, and which is going to be on your left side up here near the rectangle tool. And what this does is it creates a fillet or fillet around two edges, and it turns like a sharp corner into a rounded edge, as you can see here by the green outlines. So to use this tool, we're going to click the two edges where we want to round it out, so here and here, and that is going to create a fillet. Now, Autodesk automatically puts it at 0.125, but we're going to want to change it to 0.075 as per our packet. And now that we have finished the sketch, what we're going to do is click out of that. So if you look at the top right hand of your screen, you're going to see the big green check mark. Just click that. And now we're going to be into our 3D models. So what we're going to do now is we're going to want to extrude this 2D sketch that we have just made. And to do that, if you look at the top left, you're going to see this tool that says extrude. So we're going to click that, and Autodesk is automatically going to pick the 2D sketch that we have just made because it's the only sketch available. But we want to change this distance A, to 3 inches as shown in our packet. So two choices. You could either change it right here, or what I prefer to do is to change it in the actual extrusion. So what we're going to do is change this distance A to 3. And you're going to notice that this elongates that entire structure. and we're going to click OK. And this is what we have just made. Made this object. We're going to still make some changes to it. So even in 3D, we could still make a fillet same as 2D. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our toolbar, and as you see along here, the fillet tool, and all we're going to do is click the edge that we want to round out right here, and I've set it on 0.075. For you guys, you might have to change it, but this is what we want for our tutorial. And there we go. So we made a fillet in 2D with this one down here and in 3D. So now we're going to want to make certain holes in these extruded faces so that we can sync them to other parts in later assemblies. So to do that, we're going to need another 2D sketch, and we're going to make it on this face down here. So to start to make our holes, we need to create circles. And if you come along here, right next to the line tool is a circle tool. And this just creates a bunch of circles for you. How to use this tool, you're going to left click where you want the center of your hole to be. And then however far you move your cursor away from that center point is the diameter of that circle. So we could put whatever size circles that we want because we're going to change them eventually. So these are our two circles that we want for now. And now we're going to make certain dimensions to them. So I want this circle from this side to be 0.75. And the same, I want the same thing for here, except instead of 0.75, I want it to be 2.25. There we go. So this sets these circles' dimensions so that I cannot move the center point left or right. So I can move it up or down because I haven't dimensioned those yet, but I cannot move them left or right. There we go. Now after this, I want to make sure that I can't move them up or down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension this circle from the bottom of our object and make this 0.5. And I want the same thing to be done for this other circle right over here. There we go. Now lastly, I want to change the dimension of the circle itself. So right here, I can change the diameter of the circle, and I'm going to make this 0.25. And the same thing for the other one. There we go. This is our 2D sketch. So now what we want to do is when we want to exit the sketch, we go to the top right where it says finish and click the big green check. And now I want to essentially cut out these holes from that extruded surface. So I'm going to go to the same extrude tool, and I'm going to click the holes that I want to extrude. So I'm going to zoom in, click this, and click this. But instead of actually making more material, I want to cut away the material. So there are two ways you could do this. Instead of going up as the direction, you could go down. And what this does, it creates a cut, which you could see here, which is labeled cut. So here it says join, which you essentially create something. Here it says cut. There you go. Now once we do this, we have these two holes. Now what I'm going to do is repeat the process for side E. Make sure that you turn your sketch or the orientation of your sketch to be the same as what's in the packet so we don't mess up any dimensions. So we want to turn this all the way around. And we're essentially going to want to do the same exact thing as before. There we go. And this is the first part of the tutorial, and this is your first time creating a part. Okay, so now that we've made this part, what we're going to want to do is make sure we save this part so we can use it later. So what you're going to do is you're going to press Control S, and we are going to name this part as tutorial. There we go. Just make sure wherever you save it, you can get back to it. So now that we've graduated from making parts, we're going to start making assemblies. So first we're going to go to this orange file button, click that, and then click new, and then go to new. Now under the part tab, we're going to go to the assembly and press standard.iam. Now we're going to get to here, and we're going to want to place all of our parts that we've just made. So right here, make sure you go to recent items, and we're going to use the tutorial part 1 and 2 that's provided by Cougar Robotics, plus the tutorial part that we have just made. There we go. Now we have all 3 parts right here. There are 2 more important things to note. So the first is the constraint tool. So what this lets us do is to create relationships between 2 or more parts, and it's the basis for how we create or build / CAD our robots. So another important thing is to know how to manipulate your screen so that you can see any orientation of your parts. So what I just showed is one method where you press shift and your mouse wheel, and this lets you rotate around the green pivot point. And another method is to press function or F4 with your function key, if you have one. And this lets you rotate around the entire screen with the center as your pivot. I prefer the shift plus the mouse button, but it's all up to preference. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create constraints. So the first one is the concentric constraint, and this allows you to constrain 2 centers of a hole or 2 axes of a hole together. So first we can click this green button. Notice how there's a dashed line. This is very important because this signifies the axes of that circle. I've clicked the axes of this circle, and I would like to constrain that to this exact axis on this hole. Now that I've done that, I get a blue line. This signifies that these are constrained together once I have pressed applied. Now as I move this, notice how everything moves, but these circles stay concentric, like that. Now what I want to do is I want to make this hole concentric to this hole. So same exact thing, make sure I get the green dashed line, same with here, and then there we go. Now I can move these around all I would like, but the centers stay the same. Now what I want to do is to mate this face to this face, make this stay on top of that like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click constraint, and I am going to see that green arrow, which means I've selected this face. I see this green arrow, which means I've selected this face, and I can mate these 2 together when I press apply. There we go. Now, continuing on, I need to mate this circle, these 2 circles, on this part right here, this circle and that circle, to the 2 circles on this part, one circle here and one circle here. Now the procedure that I just did, it's going to be the exact same thing, except we're just going to use it for the different parts. So now I want this circle to be concentric with this circle, and this circle concentric with this circle. And now these holes are essentially lined up no matter what I do. And last is to click this face with this face. And there we go. That's it. This is exactly how it looks like on our packet. Now, a quick pro tip is, I'm sure you noticed that I didn't bring my mouse over to the constraint tool every single time to constrain. That's because you could click C on your keyboard and you could bring up the constraint tool. Same exact thing. Or C. Anyways, I hope you guys found this tutorial very helpful. I'm Vishwath on Team 1403, and I wish you guys the best of luck.